Hey guys, welcome back to Altaz-Review, where we go over the latest gaming titles and trends. Today, I want to look into GTA and how Rockstar has continued to bring new stuff into this classic series. Hopefully, we can get an idea on what to expect of the upcoming GTA 6. It feels like there's been a GTA for every generation. The way GTA plays, it caters to every kind of player in the best way. Everyone has that feeling of causing destruction and treating a game like a game. GTA gives you a huge, mostly realistic world where you can do whatever you want. And part of the fun of it is that there are even consequences to your actions, but you still feel like you have power over what you're doing. Being able to take any car, being able to punch a police officer in the face, letting all your violent tendencies out, and doing all the things you could never really do. Playing any GTA kind of feels like those rooms where you can smash stuff around as much as you want. We all have certain kinds of emotions we just want to let out, and GTA is a fun little outlet. Going back to the older generation, GTA 3 started the base of the GTA we know today. A lot of games have helped inspire the open world design and action-packed gameplay, but GTA 3 created an environment where the gears really started moving. All kinds of weapons, with reactive civilians, and of course the wanted system. Having the police chase after you when you commit crimes is a simple but immersive consequence to your wild actions. But the kicker is that they introduced different levels of police. The wanted stars made you aware of how destructive you were being and made the police seem threatening, whereas in other games, you're usually the scariest thing in the game. They got that balance where you can make as much chaos as you want, but the police are always ready to balance your actions. It wouldn't really be fun to mess things up if no one could stop you, and you end up only causing as much trouble as you can handle. The GTA police system is a real trendsetter in games and is still the biggest focus in other GTA games. Every GTA might feel like the same thing with better graphics, but even these games have a lot of fun changes like story, vehicles, and even just the ability to swim. Each game tried out some new stuff. The things that worked became another trend for future games. The stuff that didn't, well, they just became some nostalgic moments of frustration. GTA 3 was the beginning of the 3D formula, starting this amazing series and being a top-class game by itself. GTA Vice City started experimenting with more vehicle types and adding all kinds of weapons from pistols to rocket launchers, and future games continued with even crazier additions like flying bikes, saw guns, and all kinds of wacky weapons and vehicles. San Andreas started focusing on having a more memorable story and creating missions that require more than shooting and driving, creating a bit of specialty in each mission. It paid off since this installment is memorable by its missions, its characters, and its overall presentation. It also allowed you to swim for once. There were a lot more games in between on the PSP and other platforms, but getting to GTA 4, Rockstar showed its enthusiasm by improving a perfect formula and upping the graphics and the engine. They gave us more interactive physics, allowing us to play around in a more realistic environment, or at least more realistic than what we had at the time. GTA 4 proved that Rockstar is always thinking of ways to improve, even when it has a near-perfect game. At the time, the GTA formula was more than good enough, and they could probably bring out more games in the same way. But they did feel the need to innovate, and they knew that they would start to lag if they just kept trying the same thing. And finally, we get to GTA 5 that sets a new standard for games as a whole. It seemed like the biggest achievement for Rockstar and gaming itself. But seeing how Red Dead Redemption added so many elements between the first game and the second, we can't help but get hyped for GTA 6 and what changes we'll see that make it different from GTA 5. GTA puts you in a realistic environment, it gives you almost cartoonish tools to work around with, and the story and humor is borderline childish. But it works because those are the kind of things we never really get to experience. One of the big allures of games is that you get to do stuff you couldn't ever do in real life. And GTA takes advantage of that feeling. What if you could do everything without any lasting consequences? Sure, if you start a fight with someone, they'll fight back. If you commit a crime, you get arrested, but it's only within the game. So it's almost like a simulator. You can simulate what happens if you just lost your mind and did whatever you want, but that's only the tip of the iceberg. As GTA has evolved over time, it's kind of gotten it down to filtering out what they need to keep and what they need to remove. People don't really care too much about, a tough or an engaging story, as long as the story is just good enough, and treating different main characters with their own emotions and their own personalities, it helps you engage with the character, it helps you vent out your own mentality. You care about the character and you yourself just want to have a little bit of fun. Or somewhere along the line, they finally connected all the dots and took the best parts of every GTA so far and threw it all into GTA 5. Giving 3 great characters that kind of reflect all the characters that we've had in past games, and giving a story that rivals GTA 4, they put together all their best games and added a whole bunch of more stuff that only makes the game better. I mean, honestly, there's a reason GTA 5 has stuck around for 10 years and still kept us all playing. At first I thought after GTA 5, you couldn't really make any more improvements. It seems like they've kind of hit the ceiling, especially with something like GTA 5. What more can you improve? But seeing how they made such a huge difference between Red Dead 1 and Red Dead 2, knowing that they might add some mechanics from Red Dead 2 into GTA 6, and even adding new mechanics and ideas that suit GTA specifically, I honestly can't figure what GTA 6 will be like. But we have an idea of what the basics will be. At the very least, I think it's safe to say we won't be disappointed by what GTA 6 becomes. Seeing how hard Rockstar is focusing on creating a better game, I'm also pretty sure GTA 6 will be better than GTA 5. And I'm not sure about this, but it might even be better than Red Dead Redemption 2. But who knows, it's hard to compare those two games. Seeing the innovations and improvements in graphics, gameplay, and its different ideas, combined with a decade-long gap between installments, GTA 6 has high expectations. But with Rockstar's overall track record and so many past games to play around with, I don't see any reason to be worried about their next game. While we wait for more news on GTA 6, we can still look back on what has stayed the same in most games. With all the interesting new additions in every installment, we can't forget about the things that make GTA, GTA. The crude humor that's somewhere between adult and childish is spread through every main quest and side quest, with my favorite moments coming from the radios. And long-running fans can always appreciate the well-thought-out Easter eggs spread throughout the open world. GTA's map and environments don't always go through such big changes, with the big cities, the small communities, and in some cases, just using the same city for multiple games. But that's another charm of GTA. Come back to the city you used to own and knowing every road and every area. There's a chance even GTA 6 might take a little from the older games in terms of maps and environments. I can only assume the next game is going to have a pretty similar layout in terms of a big city. And like we mentioned before, stealing cars and getting into big chases, all while your star level keeps increasing and cops' tactics get more brutal. It's one of those things that doesn't even need an upgrade. If I can break into a car and wreak havoc while I get chased by helicopters, tanks, and more, getting busted at the end will be worth it. Well, considering that the core elements of GTA don't seem to be changing anytime soon, Rockstar is sure to come up with some more great ideas for GTA 6 while bringing back all the best parts of previous games that we play these games for. If there's one change I would prefer in future games, it would be that GTA 5 felt a bit slower. There seems to be a trend of making things a little more realistic in Rockstar games. GTA 5 seemed a bit slower from its older titles, and Red Dead Redemption 2 had the slowest pace of all. But the difference is, I appreciated Red Dead Redemption 2 being as slow and careful as it was, because that suits that game. But I think GTA works better with a more fast-paced and action-packed environment. So I guess I prefer to move around a little more easier and interact with things in a simpler way when it comes to GTA. So hopefully GTA 6 will play a little faster and a little more exciting than even GTA 5. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure they have a whole bunch of ideas on how to improve GTA 6, and I hope that I'll use a lot of ideas from all their old games, from Red Dead to the first GTA, and craft the ultimate experience which we expect from them. Well, at the end, it's all just my opinion. That's all for today. If you want to suggest any ideas or discuss your opinions, feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and maybe even subscribe so you can see more videos like this one. I hope I see you guys again in the next video. See you!